our bubble pen? Oh, I found it. We found it for Mrs. Ash. Sorry, Straight. Your name is unique. Your name is very unique, Straight. I couldn't find the bubble pen, and now here it is. We're going to include Straight in the bubble permanent markering. Oh, we did it, Straight. Oh, man. Look at the moves on this guy. Look at him go, bud. We done it now, Mrs. Hash. In no particular order. Straight, you're next to Mrs. Hash. You best be nice. Look at the moves on me, bud. Man, I'm all nervous doing bubble letters for my wife, but... Mrs. Yes. My best friend. She's my best friend. You guys make sure you find a best friend, okay? Do we call her Mrs. Hashy? What, bud? Mrs. Hash, we call her. Mrs. Hashy? Mrs. Hash. Don't you forget it, bud. Oh, boy. Man. I almost got taken for a ride, and it's barely 9:27. But I didn't. But I was close. I kind of feel like I did just based off what I know. But at what point do you... I mean, basically, I got to go into business. Like, 3 businesses in Winnipeg are just milking the community. I can't be part of it. Here we go. Hi. Hi, Doug. Yeah, we're doing it. Hi, Doug. Watch somebody in the chat be like, oh my god, he's talking to me. Hi, Doug. Heart, wavy hand, heart. Do you like pizza? Imagine if like 40 people named Dougie came into the chat right now. I never met one cool guy named Dougie. No, he wasn't. He was a Doug. Just putting it too straight. And then, man, there's some Dougies out there, bud. Man, if you got named Doug, I apologize for your parents. Max Power? Like what? Did they not watch Simpsons? Have your parents not seen Simpsons? Naming you Dougie. Ugh. I'll tell you this straight up. I got a pair of Wranglers, and I'm not even a redneck. I got these Wranglers. When I was a kid, man, I had a pair of Wranglers. Man, those jeans fit so good on me. I was in high school, and I definitely got laid. How you doing? I don't know what's up with Wranglers, but they work. Wranglers literally work. Yep, Wranglers are actually a thing, folks. Now, for the pièce de résistance, mes amis. What is it, babe? What is it, my love? Guys, the more you know, the more you know, okay? Always strive to learn. You know? Don't sit around, guys. You gotta get out there, you have to experience, you have to explore. I remember when I was a kid, okay? I didn't know what I wanted to be. Who does? But I had a friend, and he did windows and doors. Mostly doors. I'm sure he did windows. I don't remember really doing windows with him. We did doors. He called me for doors all the time. We did doors and insulation. We insulated garages. We insulated basements. We insulated rec rooms that were just built, you know, like an addition. We insulated additions and things like that. I did all sorts of stuff with this dude. He's a gentleman. A gentleman. I never heard him swear, nothing. And he said to me, he said something like, you know, Sean, it doesn't matter what you think you're going to be. When you get older, you'll change your mind 10 or 15 times in life. He said, my dad taught me how to do windows or doors and, you know, carpentry, he said. And he knew I didn't have a dad. And he's like, if you ever want to learn, I will teach you everything I know. And I worked with him for 5-6 months through a couple years. You know, it was piecework, we call it, right? He would say, hey, tomorrow, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., I'll pick you up, I'll pick you up at your place, and we had to drive far away, go over an hour, and then I would get paid for that, and then we would work, and then on the way home I'd get paid for about half the time. And I wasn't very good at what we were doing. Like, I was good enough, but I didn't know what we were doing. I wasn't an expert, so I took that contract, right? Looking back, he was one of the most fair people. He put everything up front, explained, and I had the opportunity to decide, right? He said, no matter what it is you go into business doing, however you make money, always ensure that you have a plan. Whether it be for that day or that year, he said, always plan out your day. And I honestly never forgot that. It's very simple stuff, but who is planning out their entire day? Do you go here, here, and there? If you don't make those calls, you're going to end up driving all over, wasting 3 times more time than you needed to waste, than you needed to spend that day, right? You don't have to waste your day. Go there with your supplies, do the job, drop me off, and there was still, I got dropped off at like 9 p.m., 9:30. I still had 3 or 4 hours before I went to bed that night. You know, I stayed up till 1 or 2 in the morning. I was 16, 17, 18 doing this. Maybe even 19 I was still doing that. It was piecework. So I did it the first year for about 4 or 5 months, you know, throughout the year. And then the next year I did it maybe a month or 2 in total. But it was, you know, one day was a good pay, right? So, and I had other jobs. I wasn't just doing that. I used to paint exterior fence, like I used to paint fences. I used to paint exterior uh, houses. I used to paint eaves troughs and trim when I was young. I remember one time I got a bloody nose. I was up on a ladder with a bloody nose. And my buddy's like, hey, if you have any problems, you should just talk to us. And I'm like, dude, it's not what you think. I'm like, I was literally cutting my nose hairs and this is what it's from. But I got like so much grief about this, like, because I had a bloody nose. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even into none of that. Like, you got the wrong dude. You are up the wrong creek right now, eh? This is my best friend too, but I guess because I hung out with so many people, he's like, maybe he is, right? No, I wasn't, you dummy. So, but that's what a good friend does, right? He would, ask a little more. I just don't hang around people that are into that kind of thing. Like, if you're getting nosebleeds on your pillow and stuff all the time, and it's from something you're doing, we cannot be friends. Unfortunately, I have a lot of people who were my best friends that picked rough lives, and they're no longer my best friends because of their acquaintances. Don't call me up when that person's over. Don't come around with that person. And now you have forced yourself to be part of those people that I don't want around, right? So you got to make good choices in life, and I am from a very, very rough place on earth. Very rough. You don't have to believe me. If you came here, you wouldn't go out at night. And I go out at night. I go anywhere, anytime, anywhere, anytime. I fear nothing. But I'm not stupid. I'm not going to go to an area of the city where it's... Yeah, they're like... For a guy like me, if I can say this, I am a minority in Winnipeg, and that, do you know there is racism both ways? It's not just white people being racist to other people. There are other people being racist to other people of other ethnicities other than just white people being racist, and so you have to use your imagination a little bit. I'm not going to sit there and say it out loud. It pains me that it's like this, but I treat everybody properly, and I don't get treated properly by everybody because of my skin color. They're jealous of me, things like that, right? And there's no need for it, right? I don't feel I'm better than anybody. Maybe education-wise, maybe the fact that I have actually persevered in a place where they dumb you down, yeah. I feel I'm much better than majority with my intellect, but that doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and make you feel bad about yourself. I'm just going to tell you, if you get dumb, you are dumb. You know what I mean? But I am not a person who stands idly by while somebody's being hurt, okay? Especially a lady. Like, if it's a lady, or if a lady seems like she's in trouble, I'm going to be one of the first people to ask her, do you want me to pound him for you? I will ask you. You say yeah, it's free. That's a freebie right there. So... Is that how you roll too? Quickly say no. Nah. You armchair quarterbacks, watching your movies and playing with your GoBots, yelling at the TV while you watch a hockey game. You know what I mean? I go to the hockey game and yell at the player, bud. You know what I'm saying? I am yelling at the player until that player, understands you need to start playing, bud. I.e., as a perfect example, Wheeler, I felt bad doing it that night after I saw his reaction. You know what Wheeler did? You know what Wheels did? He improved his game big time. Wheeler, the next 2 years, played harder, faster, stronger than most players in the NHL. I still feel bad for yelling at Wheeler. It hurts my heart to think of how I made him feel on the ice that day. Nobody wants to be outed in front of everybody, right? So what I did was wrong. And I don't think I'll ever yell at a hockey player, a soccer player in my life again. Just because, if I ever see Wheeler, I'm going to let him know and be like, yo, dude, that was me. That one game, man, that was me, buddy. I am so sorry. I'm going to tell him. Straight up. It's just I got a heat of the moment, buddy, and the play, you sloughed the play. It was a crap play, you know? I shouldn't have done what I did, though, you know? I didn't do anything horrible. I just yelled at him and said, you suck, Wheeler, or something. I should never have done that. So, he put his shoulders down, and you could tell he bit a piece of those words I said, right? Man, that makes me feel bad, real bad. So, I'll tell you this though. I reached out to Wheeler on Instagram probably, I don't know, 4 years ago or something. And I guarantee you he read that message. I also shouted him out in when he posted something, and then I commented on one of his posts. I'm sure he saw that as well. I said, buddy, I'm the guy that, I yelled at you on the ice there. I apologize. You know what I mean? But that literally happened. I did that, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have been. I was also carried away. No excuse. I stopped actually doing what got me carried away. So no more wobbly pops or anything like that in my life. And this was years ago. I probably did this like 7, 8, 9 years ago this happened. It's probably like 2016 or something, 15. I couldn't tell you the year, but it happened. Maybe 17 it happened. Whenever Wheeler was just crap in the bed, either mid-season or 3/4 of the season. You guys, any Jets fans, you'll know which season it was. I used to keep track of that. Now, I couldn't be bothered to keep track of scores, highlights. I don't care if you're dangling or dingling. It don't matter to me. It's not. Hockey's a fun sport. Hockey's cool. I just think people should be playing it and not watching it, People getting fatter and fatter every day in Canada. And there's less and less people playing hockey, So, I think one of the biggest pandemics we have is obesity. So, we should try and curb our obesity with exercise, proper diet, which I don't like the term diet. I like the term eating right. Okay? Eating right. So make that stick and you'll see it's a good term. So we got this wonderful here. We're actually going to check it right now. I don't do this very often, so I'm quite pleased with the outcome. I'm tickled. Let's just be real. Holy Dinah. So that's how you know we're on to something. So I gotta crunch the numbers, but I think this is wild, I gotta crunch some numbers. So there's a neat lady at one of these places my wife stops in at sometimes for a bevy, and I don't know why I just thought of her. I only ran into her like a couple times. She calls me hun. She's like, oh hey hun, and she doesn't know who I am or anything. She's just being polite, like she's got a tip jar there too, right? So I mean, Or I'm like, oh, I don't have any cash on me. I got a couple spliffs. And she's like, oh, chuck them in there. And I chuck them in there. And then the next guy walks in, he's like, those spliffs? I'm like, yeah, just put them in there. Those are for her. Don't touch. But I want to pop and drop something different in there for what's my name. And so hopefully my wife hits that place up in the next, maybe today or tomorrow. We'll have to see. We might need it for the next couple of weeks, but oh, it'll be nice. Yo, Downbox, I'm your first viewer. No, you're not. You're not my first viewer. My first viewer was Long Balls Larry back in the day. I can't tell you if that's true, but he's one of my first viewers. You are like my 33rd millionth viewer, bud. I'm pretty sure they're quelling my, wow, I can guarantee you my analytics aren't true. So, I know they're not, because I've seen the irregularities. What? Who uses these big words? The hash, man. But I will pin your comment. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great day today. We're talking about actually, I want to do my roof myself. Not my main roof. We already have a brand new roof on here. I want to do my shed roof. Actually, the garage roof could probably get done in a couple of years, but I think we'll be out of here before that's a thing. So the garage roof is really quite something. I'm thinking I should probably even get a hold of the insurance company if we got this hail coming in the way it is. I'm gonna take pictures of it, and because it's gonna damage my garage roof, right? We'll end up paying a bit, but it is probably best interest for next year to get that done. If we get hail. We had hail last month or 2 months ago. There was a little hail. This bigger stuff that's coming probably mess up my garage roof even more. So, I live in a hail zone, like wicked hail. Most of the vehicles in Winnipeg that are outside on the lots, the reason why they give a little bit of a deal and stuff right now in Manitoba is because of hail damage, right? So they end up having to spend, just one car lot spent over $750,000 in 2023, or at the end of 2022, they had to pay it, at the beginning of 2023 for the insurance that the hail damage cost this one car lot, $750,000. So that's what they had to pay out of pocket, right? So that business has to, over and above what the insurance. Anyway, I don't want to get into this. If you guys know anything about hail damage, it's brutal. Brutal. If you got a Corvette and it's not in the garage, you're crying. You're crying right now, okay? So, I got some things to do to the side here. Make my wife some nice breakfast. I don't know what we're having today. She'll decide. She always has. I think I know what she wants. She'll probably want breakfast wraps. I'm gonna make some hash browns. But can I make the hash browns? I'll have to move this into the other room. The hash browns are kind of like, I don't know if you know this, but like the stuff in the air has to go somewhere, right? It goes right into your lungs. So if you're a cook in a kitchen, if you work in a restaurant where they have smokers and stuff like that, there's a reason why smokers are outdoors. There really is. It's extremely bad for your health, right? You're smoking sauces, sugars, salt, skin, flesh, right? It's probably one of the grossest professions you could have. That and a line cook, a deep fryer line cook, is by far, I've never come across a grosser smell. And these jobs, you would wonder, you gotta ask yourself, like, what kind of
like, they don't explain, like, this stuff's toxic, you know? They really don't. I'd like you guys to count the farts on my sleep stream. Sorry about it. It's in a collab version. It was 3:33 a.m. when I started that stream. Man, was I upset. I wrote the most perfect write-up and everything. It maybe even been funny. I can't remember. Like I said, it was 3:33 a.m. Cat woke me up. I was cross-eyed and sideways. But we got her done. We started it. It was a collab. It's like, do you want to send out an email? I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? And then I look, and I didn't do any of the proper stuff on that live stream. So, holy crow, disappointed in that. Still, like, and literally, I thought I was doing the God's work, you know? And then I look, and I'm like, holy, I couldn't have done worse. It was like my first day on YouTube. That was like, if I had never done YouTube before, that's what that stream setup should have looked like. Not 77,000 billion hours on YouTube, right? Holy Dinah. So that happened. If y'all love Mr. Trump, just get out there and vote. Try and vote for Trump right now, today, in case, like, you never know what they're up to. Vote for Trump as soon as you can. This way, if something happens to him, you know, we elected him, we'll just carry him around. You know, like basically what they did with Bernie, Bidet. You know, it's so funny. Everybody's like, Biden looks different. Biden looks so different. I'm like, dude, Biden, everything you guys saw probably wasn't even Bidet. It probably wasn't even Bidet the whole time. The whole time. Think about that. How would you know? You personally know Bidet? I doubt that. I doubt that.